Rookie Ronaldo Green and film study. We'll look at Mustafa, maybe Robinson at linebacker. What does it look like from those guys? We'll watch just a few drives on defense. Talk that over with you guys, and of course, bring you guys on live right now on the Eric Crocker Morning Show. Let's go.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Eric Crocker. Over midfield, he'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Crop Talk TV podcast. Peace. Welcome to another episode of the Eric Crocker Show. I'm your host, former NFL and AFL defensive back, Eric Crocker, and I'm excited, man. It's Wednesday morning. We're talking football. I decided, you know what? Let's just dive a little bit into the film. I wanted to go over some of the rookies. I'm seeing a lot of stuff floating around with Dominik Puni, and I'm like, you know what? Let's talk about some other guys. I actually want to do an exercise where I bring one of y'all up and have you guys kind of just break down what you're seeing. And I thought that would be, just kind of fun, or not like entertaining in like a goofy way, but just something a little different. Everybody, I come on here, you guys see me break stuff down. It's like, well, of course, you're supposed to be the defensive back expert. But I think it would be cool too to see at some point, maybe we don't have to do it today, but at some point, what y'all are seeing and how you see it on the All 22. So maybe we don't do that today. Maybe we do that another time. I did want to start with, sometimes I start a little bit off the grid. It might not be super pertaining to the 49ers, but I heard this clip this morning. Should I play the clip? It was a woman talking about parenting, and as you guys know, I have several kids. I have 4 kids, and 4 that's including my bonus son D. Shout out to D. All right, but it's interesting as a parent, especially when you have different influences. I guess, is that the best way to say it? When all your kids aren't in the same home, and as a parent, especially as a father and as a man in general, the way that we see things and how we feel like we should parent our kids, and the things that we're trying to instill in our kids, and try to balance that with the emotions of a woman and how they parent their kids. Women, you can't expect a man to parent your child the same way that a man does. And this woman broke it down very good. And I was like, man, I think this might be something I should do on the morning show. All right, so let's play this. Let's play this clip. All right, you guys ready for this? Here we go.
To prepare his children for the real world.
Hold on, here we go.
A father's job is to prepare his children for the real world. Yeah. So that's the direction. I'm going to prepare you so that when you move to the world, transit into the world, it is a smooth transition. Yeah. You're not shocked. So it's not the environment of home is different than the world. We're going to create at home, and I'm going to show you at home what the world really is like. So the father, is usually associated with tough love. He's a kind man, he's a loving man, he's a working man, but it's tough love. Tough love because he's going to tell you, I love you, son, but you can be better. I love you, son, but that was wrong, and you got to take responsibility for it. Yeah. Why? Because that's how the world is. Yeah. If you don't do your chores at home, mommy's going to forgive you. At work, you're going to get fired. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, the world is not mommy. Yeah. So I was having this conversation with a friend, and we were speaking about that. The masculine is weakened and the feminine is overpowered. So the whole, women power, whatever, I'm just like, we got too much power. We got to chill a little bit. We need...
All right, that's enough of that. But I just thought that was interesting because I feel like I'm very loving to my kids. I show them a lot of love, but at the same time, sometimes I'm viewed as the strict parent, and I don't even think I'm hella strict, especially not compared to my parents when I was growing up. But I don't know. I feel like, and I saw this conversation with a buddy of mine. I just happened to be there. I don't want to say they were having an argument, but it was borderline argument, but not an argument. But I was there, and it was them, and I didn't want to gang up on the women. But it was very clear that I think women expect men to take on the same role as a parent as they have. And it's no, we have our roles. And that's not that we can't both be loving, but I think the way that we love sometimes is a little different. So it was just something I thought was pretty cool. Pretty cool to listen to. Chris, we talk on the phone. He sees me with my kids and stuff like that. He's like, Croc, you're far from strict. And the crazy thing is, I'm viewed as the strict parent. And I ain't even strict like that. I think with my boys, and my wife kind of gets on me about this. I was more strict on my boys than the girls. With the girls, it's like, oh, you kind of let them get their way, which I've been working on that. And with the girls, it's almost like trying to find like the right time to get on the same way with the boys. But when the boys, I mean, it started 6 years old, 7 years old. Did it room not clean? This clean the bathroom, clean the toilets, like clean the floors. D. I taught D some stuff at a very young age. I feel like really stuck with him. Where now he's 17 years old, and I feel like he's capable of really taking care of himself. And that was my ultimate goal. And that was the conversations I would have with him. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was a good message to kind of start with this morning. Tia says, from a female perspective, I don't expect it to be the same. I'm more strict than my husband. There we go. All right, Tia. All right, and Tia, I can hear it in your tone when you come on here and talk. So I get that. I get that. All right. Yeah, it says dad's got to be the discipline. I think moms can too, but just a lot of times naturally, just the way that society, right? I think roles have. We didn't come on here to talk about this life stuff, but I think that roles, they've kind of got the more that the dynamics are equal with working, the roles have kind of jumbled together, right? Uh, I know in the past the way that the traditional marriage, the traditional relationship between a husband and wife or a man and woman was not that the women are like less than, but the women they're home, they take care of the kids, they cook, they take care of everything at the house. The men, they're out working, they're out, they're providing for the family, they come home, cooked meal, and people still want that aspect of it, but the women now work just as much as the man. So now you have women and men working the same, and because of that, roles are starting to get kind of jumbled together to where now, on top of everybody, contributing financially, the women also expect the men to contribute to the household the same way that the women are supposed to. And I think I do a good job of that. Like I'll clean, I'll cook, I'll do those things. But there is some kind of like innate thing mentally for a lot of us where even though those lines have kind of crossed a little bit, still the mindset of going about how to love, how to teach. I think some things are just a little bit more natural for a woman. So, yeah, I think that's enough for that. I think that's enough for that. Appreciate everybody in the chat right now. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's go. Let's go. Gammon in the chat. Shout out to my dog Gammon. He says my daughter has me wrapped around her finger. My baby girls too, and I try to find a balance with that. And I've started to be a little bit like this morning. I walked in my daughter's room, it's clean. And I have one daughter, Pickle, like she's like the messiest of all the kids, but she's getting better at it. But I've had to get on her about it. Hey, this needs to be done. This needs to be done. Your homework done, this done, clean your room, make sure you throw your trash, keep your bathroom clean. And I've told my daughters, nobody who's as you get older, whether you are roommates with a girl or eventually you get married, you have a husband, nobody wants a messy woman in the same house as them. So you guys got to be clean. Like, just like little things like that. I try to like start teaching them now at a young age. How to just clean up after yourself. Know how to clean up after yourself. All right, here we go. We're going to watch some film. And I decided that let's put on the 49ers defense, and we're just going to have it roll. Before we start, this show is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you go to the app or download underdogfantasy.com and use promo code Crocky. That's CROCKY, promo code Crocky. I remember when Underdog first approached me, I didn't know what Underdog Fantasy was. Now the daily fantasy, sports sites, they're everywhere, right? Before this, I didn't even know what it was. And they're like, hey, man, we got this best ball format, check it out. Like you could just draft a team and leave it alone. I'm like, all right. But within that, I discovered Pick'em. And I think Pick'em has really taken over the world by storm. They should have just told me that from the beginning. I probably would have did better. Well, I've actually done very well with Underdog Fantasy. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy, sign behind me. But yeah, Underdog Fantasy, go to the app, download it right now. Underdogfantasy.com. Use promo code Crocky. Yeah, it says, see you at Grant on Friday. What? Are you asking if I'm going to be there? I'm there live, direct. Hey, man, if y'all live in Sacramento, y'all in the 916 Elk Grove, hell, if y'all from Stockton, man, We heading out to Sacramento. We playing against Grant Pacers. They've been in the state championship like the last 2 years. We turned up. We're trying to still get past like the second round of the playoffs, but we got a really good squad, really good young squad. We are ready. It's gonna be a big dog battle. It's gonna be a big dog battle between us and Grant. So that's this Friday. Make sure y'all, man, hey, tap in, man. Say what's up. Come take a picture with me. So I shoot y'all think, oh, take a picture with Crocker. No, I want to take a picture with y'all, man. So come support, man. We there live and direct. Once y'all see my DBs, we going crazy. All right, let's get into this film study. Again, I thought it would be a good idea to bring someone on. Can I zoom in on this too? There we go. Oh yeah. Right. I thought it would be a good idea to bring someone on so that they can watch. So I can have y'all like break the film down. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that just yet. That's maybe another time. Now, the way that I break down film, these aren't like cut ups. I didn't do that. And I was like, we're just gonna do a couple drives. The drives weren't like super long or anything like that. So we'll be in and out. But I just felt like I'm gonna talk about it as if I were coaching up my defensive backs. So that's how we're gonna go about this. All right. By the way, this punter right here, real deal. This punter right here, I mean, he was awesome. Like damn near all of his punts went inside the 10. I mean, he had some other ones bounce inside the 5. Dude was awesome. All right, here we go. Let's dive into this 49er film. All right, I'm looking at it right here. You have a 3x1. All right, even though you have an offset, what looks to be a tight end or fullback. All right, I think that's Taysom Hill, so he's like technically a fullback. All right, got the tight end over here. Tight end is attached. All right, got one guy at the line of scrimmage. You don't want all your guys at the same level. I'd assume before, and again, I didn't take notes. I'd assume that even though he's up at the line of scrimmage, let's see if this is some kind of zone. All right, let's see if this is some kind of zone, but you do like to have guys at different levels. Looked like it was going to be man. All right, here we go. Play number 2. He's probably going to bump out here. Here we go. We've got Ronaldo Green. He's at the line of scrimmage. He's square. Now, it's clear as a block. Hey, let's defeat this block right now. Again, I'm coaching this up as if I were talking to my young defensive backs. And they know. Listen, when I was with the New York Jets, Coach Dennis Thurman, I remember this. Brad said, Croc, if you let that boy block you again, we're going to cut you today. Like, that's how important it is to get off blocks and get involved in the run game. All right. So I'm a stickler with that with my guys. And they know that. And if you look at their effort to get off blocks, it's pretty high. All right. And if they don't, they get cussed out. And I don't even like when a guy comes from the second level and like tries to throw like a shot at them or something like that. And if they get my guy, like, I'm upset. You'll see me on the field. Like, you'll see me probably yelling. Like, don't let these guys block you. I think that's an effort thing. I think that's a mindset thing. So right here, he's kind of letting them block. And there has to be more of a sense of urgency to get off that block. All right. Now, again, this is me nitpicking, but that's just some of the things that I take note of. Get the fuck off me. Get him off you. All right. So that's just that. Now, does that mean that he's a good or bad cornerback? No, but that's just something like I think it's just a mindset. Don't let this guy think that he's going to get the best of you. All right. Shout out to Jair Brown. I think he does a really good job of showing high effort to get to the ball. Watch Jair Brown here. Sees it, triggers, hits. Now, 5 yards downfield, but he's getting involved in the run game as a safety. I really like Robinson. A lot of what I was seeing. Let's take a look at him right here. Okay, he's coming free. Oh, this is a tough thing. Like sometimes, now again, I don't know his gap, but I'm assuming gap here, gap here, gap here, and maybe this is his gap, maybe. All right. But we don't want to open it up. I'm not a linebacker coach. All right. I'm not a linebacker coach, but I know we don't want to let this guy seal us off. And I mean, obviously that should be obvious, but we don't want that. All right, here we go. We got some off coverage by Ronaldo Green. And the one thing about Ronaldo Green coming out of college, like this guy was a legit press man guy. And I was always wondering, like, almost like Ambry Thomas. When Emory Thomas was at Michigan, he was a press man guy, and even when he was in zone, he played zone from press alignment. Ronaldo Green played a lot of his snaps at the line of scrimmage, and the 49ers, they'll do a lot of off stuff. And at the NFL level, colleges, they kind of line up and stuff. You see similar formations. NFL, they're going to do this. You got twins, tight splits. All right, it's going to force guys to be off. Would like to see Kyle Shanahan do some of this in the Super Bowl? Have Brandon Aiyuk here, do some things, clear it out for him, come behind, high low the defenders. But hey, I'm not an offensive coordinator. But we got some zone here. All right, let's see how he plays it. So clearly they're trying to high low guys, right? Now he's late. That ball needs to be out now, right? Hey, but whatever. Quarterback's late. Like I tell my guys, we don't prepare for the worst of guys. We try to prepare for the best of guys. All right. So whatever quarterback you think is going to have this ball out right now and on time, that's what we're preparing for. So a better quarterback that gets this out a little bit quicker and gets boom, ball on him. Ball should be out now. Instead, he takes another few steps. Now he limits the run after catch opportunity for his receivers. So that's this guy that we should be playing for. I think for a linebacker here, he's going to peak. All right. Right here, he's peaking. Why are you peaking? Continue to close this gap, and then you may have an opportunity to play through the hands. But with him peaking, that's going to slow you down just enough to where you don't close that space. You just don't close that space. All right, so that's Robinson, the linebacker. Good job by Green, kind of playing in between the two guys. Again, they're trying to high-low him. They got 3 levels here. 1, 2, 3. All right, so essentially this is like a flood to the left of the defense. Hey, you got another guy here, Taysom Hill here. So, man, I mean, they are over flooding. Look, glad he didn't see Taysom here because he would have caught it, been able to cut up field some. All right, but they are definitely flooding this side of the defense. And still they were able to outflank the 49ers. Eye discipline. Let's get our eyes on that guy and close that space. All right, here we go. Another concept here is a good job by Ronaldo Green. All right. And he's just keying. All right. Maybe he's in, let's see. You got a single high. So this might be cover 3. All right. In cover 3, you're not just going to play a deep third. I know a lot of times in high school, in that lower levels, cover 3, you have a deep third. Like, yeah, but at the NFL level, you have to read concepts. All right. You got to read concepts. Who is a threat to my zone? Who's a threat to my area? All right. So starting off, let's look at it. All right. So this is how I'm trying to count them. All right. I got 2 guys here. These 2 guys are threats to my area. So let's look and see how they do here. Once this guy goes away, it essentially turns the man on him because who else can threaten my third? There's nobody else to threaten my third. There's nobody else that can threaten my third. So now I can run with this. At least that's how I teach it. And Ronaldo Green did a good job there. Here we go. We got backers in space. We got Odom on the tackle. Good job. Odom has it's hard to tell, but he has short legs and a long torso. It looks a little funny. All right, let's skip ahead. You guys want to, I had skipped past the first possession of offense, but I think we've heard a lot of Dominik Puni and how well he's doing. But Puni's doing a really good job. From the naked eye, again, I am not an offensive line coach. I can't speak to the O-line the same way I can speak about the cornerback in the backfield. All right. Now, right here, now again, I listen to our coaches. So you're pulling here. If I had to guess, he's a little high. All right, he's a little high. So he's taking on that pull here. He's a little high. Let's get that pad level down a little bit. All right, then you catch him a little bit more square. Now, does he do his job? Yeah. Shoot, man, I think he could have knocked Chase Young back this way. That's Chase Young right there. I don't even know Chase Young. Chase Young saw him late. All right. All right, let's see Dominik Puni here. See what he does here. That's Cam Jordan, ain't it? All right. Okay. Stay on him. Good job. Just throw the ball away. Why didn't you throw the ball away, though? Did he lose yards? Where did they start at? They start on this line. On this line. He lost yards. Throw the ball away. Look at this punter. Come on, man. This punter's awesome. 49ers ain't giving up on Wisnowski. They paid him, but this punter was good. You want to talk about taking advantage of an opportunity? Okay, your guys' punter is down. That's cool. That's cool. I'll go ahead and you know what I'm saying. I'll go ahead and hold it down during camp. I'll go ahead and hold it down during camp. All right, here we go. Got another drive here. Let's see what Green is doing. Good job. Good communication. I'm big on this. Look at the communication. Bump, 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 bump. All right, everybody bumping. Good job. Good job. Good job. Bump, bump, bump. Make sure you guys communicate. Run into the ball a little bit. Good. All right, we got Green again here. Now again, get off that block. There we go. He finally gets off. But let's just be a little bit more aggressive at the point of contact. All right, let's be a little bit more aggressive right here at the point of contact. I know he's like, I don't know if it's a pass or run. Let's diagnose it a little bit quicker. Come on, Jair Brown. Talk to me. Come on, Jair Brown. Talk to me. No. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Jair Brown. Nope, you're not getting to me. Shoot, you might even get a block in the back. All right, here we go. Got third down. We got a pass breakup by Ronaldo Green. Good job. Now again, this is a far throw for Carr, but he's still like late and behind. All right, so again, we're not preparing for him. We're preparing for the best of quarterbacks. That is going to happen. And I'll tell you where Ronaldo Green won this rep. Eye discipline. He never peeks, and he runs and plays just straight through the hands. Watch him. He never peeks. He's going to go straight to the hands. That is a damn good rep. That's a damn good rep. Now, I think he can have his eyes maybe a little bit lower, but out there, a lot of space going up against a guy like that's not even Chris Olave. That's whoever the hell number 11 is. So never mind. Never mind. But that's a good PBU. That's a good third down stop. Good job. Way to play the hands. Way to play the hands. I didn't even realize that's not Eric Armstead. It's kind of maybe miss Eric Armstead. I'm used to seeing Armstead in that 91. All right, let's skip ahead. We'll watch one more series and then we'll get to some of your guys' calls. You guys want to look at a little bit more Dominik Puni? I think he's doing a damn good job. I think he's holding down. I think it's Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan. Oh, come on, man. That's Cam Jordan right here. This is still the Saints starting group. So you got Cam Jordan. Block him. Okay, you guys trying to do a stunt. Let me pass him off and come on, man. Come on. Now again, the footwork, things like that. Like I don't know. I'm not an offensive line coach, but I know this is a damn good job. There could be something technical that he could do a little bit better. I think there's something technical the 49ers could do better, and that's like not throwing a vertical ball to Trent Taylor. You want to know how a defensive back feels about you? Just look how comfortable they are running with you vertically. It's just like, bro, you are not a threat. And why is Brock Purdy? Now, again, we could say guys aren't open. You know what I'm saying? Not a whole lot of separation here. This guy is getting held here. All right. But could we maybe, again, here's the thing. Let's go to the bigger picture. They're looking at a concept. So, all right, most stuff is about a concept. It's not so much about just one specific guy offensively, unless you have an offense that goes through a player. All right. But most everything is really more so about concepts. So it's almost like a lot of times he's kind of a robot. There's something that they want to hear to this side, and that's what he's reading. So who is he reading? I'm not sure. But I know this. I'm not trying to throw the ball to Trent Taylor. And I'm not trying to throw the ball to Trent Taylor with a safety directly over the top. And when I say Trent Taylor, I'm not trying to throw a vertical pushing pass to Trent Taylor. Trent Taylor's going to win within the first 5 to 8 yards of the line of scrimmage. All right. That's where if Trent Taylor's going to win, it's going to be in that range. He's not going to win vertically. He's not. And not only is he not going to win vertically, He's not going to run vertically against a defensive back that's lined up press alignment against him. And then he's not going to win vertically with a defensive back press alignment against him with a safety directly over the top. So this right here, we talked about our guys open, getting open for Brock Purdy and not. Some of this is on Brock. Some of the Brock, you didn't like this? You didn't like this? Like, maybe I should just, hey, let's just go to Jacob Cowing on the quick out. Boom, ball out, that's a completion. But instead, you elect not to go here, and he's eyeing it the whole time. This is not me getting on Brock Purdy. Look, I never even noticed this play. I was just watching it just now. Why am I just throwing a YOLO ball to Trent Taylor? He's kind of flat-footed. Look, flat-footed, throwing like off of his back leg. He's not stepping into the throw. I get it, right? I don't think that the protection was all that bad. I mean, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. But if we're going, all right, and I'm looking at, again, I'm not a quarterback coach. I don't know footwork, but I think that ball, I'll tell you when the ball should be out. Boom, 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 ball out. He should be hitting this. And it looks like he might be looking there. And he just elected not to go there. And then it's like, there's a safety right over the top of Trent Taylor. That's just a terrible decision. That's a terrible decision. That's a terrible decision by Brock. And I know Brock said he wanted to play because he needed the reps. And I would say judging by this, he probably didn't need the reps. He probably didn't need the reps. All right, let's get into the defense again. Last possession of defense. Now, this isn't Green. Green actually, matter of fact, let's pay attention to Green first. All right, we got Ronaldo Green. Nice. Hey, go ahead, disguise it, right? I tell my guys all the time, like, bro, don't just line up in it. You guys aren't being coached at one of these high schools that tell you just, okay, hey, cover 4, but to the sideline. Bro, let's look at it. Let's mix up our looks. I give my guys so much freedom. You got press alignment. We got press bail. All right, you could mess with your alignments as zone. Hey, I could start off. I could come up late. All right, let's mess with our alignments. We shouldn't just line up in it. So this is a good job. Line up at the line of scrimmage, and let me start creeping out. Good job, good job. And let's go. Stay on top, stay on top, stay on top. Good job. Who's not staying on top? Rocket Sin. Hey man, you gotta know who you got. Now, far hash, are they gonna throw this go route? Carr might not. Somebody else might. There's no way out of a bill. I would get on my guy. I'm already in a zone bill run. There's no way that Olave should get over the top of me. Even if I could run a 4.7 and Olave could run his 4.38, and even then, he still shouldn't be able to get over the top of me if I'm starting off in a bill. It's like getting a head start, and then the guy's still running at you. We got Mustafa here. Obviously, you would like to see him make that tackle. And if you're not going to make that tackle, let's make sure we force him out of bounds, Mustafa. Let's get him out of bounds. How could you do that? If you come, and he did right. You're supposed to go like near hip to protect the cutback and then change your angle to make the tackle upfield. So he kind of like did what he, ideally in the open field, but he just didn't make the tackle. He didn't make the tackle. Like the out of bounds is another defender. So typically, a lot of times you want to force plays back inside. So let me come more here, so that if I miss, then my guy inside can tackle him. But the sideline is another defender. All right, get off that block. Get off that block. Too much. What Robert Saleh used to call leak yardage. Leak yardage. Does Trent Taylor what has Trent Taylor got on Brock Purdy? Why is Brock throwing the ball to Trent Taylor so much? Like that might be more the root of the issue. What does he have? What does he have? What does Trent Taylor have on Brock Purdy? All right, here we go. We got a deep over route, deep crosser from Olave. good feet at the line of scrimmage. Now here, this is tough. All right, this is tough. Depending on how hard, okay, and again, we're coaching my guys up. Depending on how hard the receiver dives in, he might come back out. So if he dives hard inside, a lot of times I tell them anticipate more of an outbreaking route. If he goes inside and then tries to stem straight up, a lot of times I think that he's likely going to cross the field, and that's what happened here. But you gotta be weary because sometimes right here he might give you that outside stab here. They call it a rocker step, and then come back corner, and you'll be cooked. All right, but that's not what he got. They dove in, or he came in. He worked to stay straight up, kind of stack him a little bit, and then give him some at the top. And not bad coverage, not bad coverage. Good throw. That's hard. You're running all the way across the field with somebody runs a 4.38. I think that's what Olavi ran, right? 4.38. Squeeze. Gotta anticipate that. Gotta anticipate that. That's the only way you're gonna get that. Anticipating it. All right. Keep that outside shoulder free. Good job, guys. Running to the rock. 36. Robinson. Good job. Good job. All right. This is going a little long. You guys want to watch one more series of the offense? The defense is kind of like whatever, but let's coach up Samuel Womack here. Tough position to be in, right? He's guarding the, and again, these are the things when I talk about Kyle Shanahan and his game planning. And then I don't know. But you got a receiver, he's lined up, tight split, right? On this side. He motions across. So once he motions across, I'm assuming it's man, right? All right. So okay. I've had a little bit of an issue with not Kyle Shanahan's offense. I think he's terrific, and I think he's a terrific mind. I have sometimes an issue with the usage of Brandon Aiyuk, and I think this is where the money and stuff comes into play. I don't think 49ers, when you see, why don't the 49ers do things like this more often with a guy like Aiyuk? All right. So here's what I'm talking about. Let's line up Aiyuk here. He's off the ball. A lot of times Aiyuk is like the point man. A lot of times he's your like X receiver. But he comes across. All right. This was just think about a Super Bowl, right? 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4. We know what the Kansas City. Oh, it's perfect. 3rd and 4. We know what the Kansas City Chiefs are doing. They're gonna play man coverage. They scrapped the zone coverage a long time ago. 3rd and 4. All right, we got George Kittle here. We got Deebo Samuel here. We want to get the best route runner the ball in space. He's playing against a really good cornerback. So let's get Aiyuk off the ball. 3rd and 4. Key situation. This is Super Bowl. Let's motion him across to the 3 spot. Now, the corner cannot press him, right? It's man. He can't press him. And we're going to send this guy up. Now, the corner, he can't be square because of how he had to work over. Ideally, you want him to be square. And it should be a nice, quick pitch and catch. And the 49ers move the ball and continue a drive to milk the clock in the 4th quarter of the Super Bowl. But instead of doing that, 49ers said, let's just run double slants. And the play isn't necessarily designed for Aiyuk, but we will throw it to Aiyuk if the coverage dictates that. And they ran the slant, and they get double slants, and Purdy throws it to the first slant instead of the second slant, which is Aiyuk. When we talk about Aiyuk's not featured in the offense enough, okay? Yeah, I'm not I'm a guru or anything like that, but it's just, as a defensive guy, some of the things I think about. Not featured enough. Not featured enough. Especially in key situations. Oh, man. Somebody got to alert crack. Crack. Shouldn't be getting my guy knocked out like that. Now, if he cracks, somebody's got to replace right now. He's cracked. Okay, I got to shoot. I got to try to replace right now. Then he gets blocked, and that's how they get numbers out on the edge. Somebody alert crack. Alert crack. Oh, they didn't. And then, he gets sealed off. Good job. He gets sealed off. Good execution. All right, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. All right, we got Dobbs in. All right, I think that's enough. Just a little quick film study. Just kind of, some of the things I be looking at when I'm watching film of the San Francisco 49ers. Now I want to just, bring guys on to talk about it. I know some people have some things to talk about. We are getting out of here at 9. So if you want to come on live, there's the link to the chat. Make sure you guys hit the, download Underdog Fantasy on your mobile phone. You got an Android, you got an iPhone. It's cool. Underdog Fantasy is on both of those. Download Underdog Fantasy or go to underdogfantasy.com. Use promo code Crocky. That's Crocky, Crocky. And they'll do like a deposit bonus up to $250 right now. So go ahead and get in on that Underdog Fantasy. Todd in the chat says, I think all the rookies look pretty good. It's been cool seeing rookies contributing. Now, once the guys are out there, how much will the rookies contribute? Who's going to be the rookie contributors? I would say Dominik Puni. I mean, the tough thing is, as just a person just on the outside looking in, I don't know what the offensive line coaches are saying to him. What really helps though, what really helps Dominik Puni. John Feliciano, he's hurt starting the season on the IR most likely, so that will help him. Excuse me, had a sneeze there. We got Delta Bravo. Delta Bravo. Remind me of playing video games. Wish they could keep the punter. Punter's damn good. Can they trade him? Can you get a 5th round pick for this punter? He's killing it. He's killing it. Am I the only one that thought that was weird with the Brock Purdy thing? Like, I don't want to harp on Brock Purdy. I think people think that everybody's just out to get him. If it was Jimmy Garoppolo, heck, if it was Patrick Mahomes, I'd be saying the same thing. Like, Patrick Mahomes, why are you throwing a deep corner route to Trent Taylor with a safety over the top? Shouldn't the ball be going here? You're reading this side of the field. Again, the quarterbacks are taught more times than not. I'm not a quarterback, but I'm assuming. All right, offenses. Offenses work off of concepts. All right. So it looked more like a quick game concept. Not sure, but I do know one thing. If I know that Trent Taylor has a deep corner route, I'm assuming that he's just trying to pull coverage somehow. Give people a real question to answer so they can have something to come on and talk about. All right, a real question. I mean, we're at this point. I feel like a lot of things are being discussed. I want to come on and talk about film. What rookie do you see having the biggest impact? Are you guys upset with how, not even just how things have worked out so far, but you drafted a rookie receiver, Ricky Pearsall. He's not practicing this week. I think they're just all in on preparing him, getting him ready for week 1. The weird thing is not knowing exactly what's going on with the Brandon Aiyuk situation, but it sounds like they're meeting. They're back at the table. They're talking about some things. If he's out there, how important is it to have Ricky Pearsall out there, or at least in a bigger role? But yeah, those are some things that we definitely could come on here and talk about. Because you always want the link, so you know what I'm saying. You always want the link. With the link, I want you ducking the smoke, Croc. Let's look at some of the other comments in here. Earlier, we were talking a little bit about fathers, daughters, and a great one says, man's job is to keep his daughters off of bowls. Yeah, man. I really try to show my daughters like the most love, the most love and attention. And I feel like, I've seen it work all type of ways, right? A daughter grow up without the father being, super involved, and she turns and look for love from somebody else, looks for that attention from men, and ends up having daddy issues. I've also seen daughters with the most loving father still do some like wild stuff. You know what I'm saying? So all you can do is really just, like you said, it's your job to try to keep them off the poles and all that. And obviously, I get what you're saying, but all you could do is what you could do. Try to be as involved. And my biggest thing every day, what I strive to be as a father is to show my daughters how somebody should love you. And I not only say those things to them, but I I tell my daughters that if a man doesn't treat you how you see me treat your mom, then and I really work hard to be that example for my daughters every single day. They don't see me disrespect. Well, one, I don't disrespect my wife. We can get my wife on here right now. I do not disrespect my wife. I don't call my wife out of her name. I don't yell at my wife. Um, we talk. We have a really good line of communication, uh, and I hope that that healthy relationship shows my daughters how a man should treat his lady, and nothing less, nothing less. We got
But,
barely hear you.
sorry, you can hear me?
Barely. It sounds like you in a tunnel or something.
Yeah, no, I'm not home. I'm talking somewhere. You can't hear me even if I talk louder?
No, no. It sounds like you're in a washing machine.
Oh,
You fix that. I'm gonna get to Tia. All right. Good morning, Tia. How you doing?
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's August, so I'm hanging in there, waiting for the season to start.
Tia, I know Chris was like, Croc, you gotta have the answers. I mean, the questions when people come on here. You have been, I don't want to say critical of Kyle Shanahan, but
Hmm.
do you believe that this year Kyle Shanahan is the guy for the job, right? Is it a Kyle Shanahan issue as to why the 49ers can't get over the hump, or do you think it's other things?
I think it's 70% Kyle. I think it's 10% quarterback. I think the other is Patrick Mahomes.
Mm,
So you know, my husband like to say if it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes, we would have had so many Super Bowls, and I think that is kind of true. But I also believe Kyle is so stuck in his ways. It kind of reminds me of how Andy Reid was with the Eagles, where he was so stuck in his ways they could not get over the hump. He had to get fired, look at himself, say, okay, I need to change my mindset on how I want the team to run and how I need to perfect my plays in order to get to the next level. I think something like that's going to have to happen to Kyle because I think right now it's kind of like, oh, Kyle's a genius and, he can't do no wrong. He's out here, he's calling these plays and they doing all this stuff. I think he's going to have to kind of either get a slap on the wrist from York, which I doubt is going to happen, or we're going to have a really bad season for people to kind of change their mindset on Kyle because I don't believe he has changed. I really truly don't believe that. I don't believe the BS that Debo is running around here talking about he's nice and all this stuff. Yeah, okay, I see it when I believe it because you show me once, I got you. Cool. You ain't got to tell me no more. I understand. So I believe 70% is him. I think a little bit is Brock. I think Brock is good. I just think that sometimes I think he believes in himself a little too much in his in his way of how he sees plays and just want to take chances and think that his arm can really get the ball there. I think he needs to understand what his limitations are. I think
mm.
sometimes he forgets and he thinks he is a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen or a Joe Burrow, and he wants to throw the ball up there, and he don't really have that arm strength to get it there, and he makes these boneheaded plays where it's like, okay, that's like Jimmy. That just don't make no sense why you do that. Like you should not be doing that. So I just hope they both do better this year because this is going to be a shitstorm if they do not get it together. Because I don't
Mm.
know how many chances as fans, because I was asking my husband, like, are you okay with going to the Super Bowl and not winning? Or would you rather start over and just see what if somebody else can take us over the hump? Because that's really, I think, the thing that we need to find out. Are we okay with just going to the Super Bowl and coming in second place? and going to these NFC championships, or do we want somebody to actually help us win the Super Bowl?
All right, man. You said a lot here, and there's some responses in the chat. I'll answer the last part. I don't think any of us are okay with just going to the Super Bowl, right? And hopefully the
Right.
fans aren't. Hopefully Kyle Shanahan isn't. I will say that I do appreciate Super Bowl runs maybe more than others because, like you said, about starting over, and it's like, God, I just remember that dark time and how it just was unbearable to watch. Like some of those games were really tough. And this team is very well built, but I could see how if you, let's say hypothetically speaking, you fire John Lynch, you fire Kyle Shanahan, brought in a new coach and GM, do they have to tear down some of these rosters because you got some older pieces? 49ers have technically the oldest roster in the league. What changes would have to be made? If they don't have to do anything, then obviously this roster is ready made for most people, for most people to step in and do well. But man, those dark times are scary. I do appreciate a Super Bowl run, but would definitely love to see the 49ers really take over and win the Super Bowl. Now, you had some responses here. You got CT Niner. He says she nailed it. It's Patrick Mahomes.
It's Patrick Mahomes.
He's the reason why. Nick Nice 21 says Mahomes doesn't call our plays. Mahomes didn't pass the ball 9 straight times. That took less than 2 minutes off the clock when they were up 10 points. Basically saying, yeah, we could say Mahomes and all this, but ultimately Kyle's play calling and decision making is the issue. And now my rebuttal, I don't even want to say my rebuttal to that, but I guess looking at it from the other side, I think that the reason why I put more of the blame on just playing against Patrick Mahomes is because when you're in the Super Bowl, it's good on good, it's great on great, right?
Right.
I think before the season that people probably highest odds to go to the Super Bowl is like 49ers and Chiefs, right? So you get those two teams in the Super Bowl. They make it. And once they make it, now you got to play the game. But it's good on good, it's great on great. And at some point, because different things are going to happen, right? Mahomes going to throw an interception. CMC might fumble, right? There might be some different things that shape the way that eventually it sets the stage towards the end of the game, where one team has maybe a chance to seal the deal, and the other team has a chance to get back into it or potentially seal it themselves. And in those moments, like in that moment, right? Regardless, you can talk about the run plays or the pass plays, when maybe run the ball, whatever. But in that moment, Mahomes always steps up to the plate and hits it out the park. And that's why I say Mahomes is the bigger reason as to why the 49ers don't have a Super Bowl as to anything else. Well, I won't say this. I would say that's why Mahomes versus the 49ers quarterback is the bigger
Okay,
thing.
that's what I was going to say. I was like, okay, I agree with you on that, because I think in that particular point of the game, I think Kyle does not trust his quarterback. I feel he trusts him to a limit. I think he trusts him more than Jimmy. I do believe that. But I don't believe he would give him the keys like Andy Reid does a Patrick Mahomes. I think
it sounds like he's trying to do that, though. It sounds like when I listen to him talk in the offseason and he's talking about, the freedom that Brock is having. And we got to remember, Brock, a year and a half worth of NFL experience, right? At starting experience. So it's not like he has just a ton of time in the NFL. He's relatively young, and we're comparing him to like a great, right? But the tough thing for Brock is you didn't go to a normal situation. You went to a situation where the expectation is to go to a Super Bowl. Heck, you went to a Super Bowl and NFC Championship with Jimmy Garoppolo, who everybody thinks is trash. So can you be better than him? And if you are better than him, then the expectation is to win. The tough thing is in the moments, right? And Brock, I don't even think Brock played a bad Super Bowl. I think Brock played like a cool, good Super Bowl. He made some plays. He actually had some drives that gave the 49ers the lead, right? Like maybe twice, right? Between late in the game and then in overtime again with the field goal. But the bigger issue is with the Chiefs, it's not just about giving the 49ers a late lead. It's making the knockout plays. making the knockout throws. And that's where the 49ers have not been able at the quarterback position to make that knockout play, the knockout throw. All right. The knockout throw in the Super Bowl, everybody goes to overtime and, oh, Brandon Aiyuk was opening the back of the end zone. Didn't see, got had a free runner at him with Jones. But the real knockout play was 3rd and 4 on the double slants. And instead of throwing the ball to Aiyuk, who was open in his window, you threw the ball to Juwan Jennings, and the ball got tipped, and you kicked the field goal. That was the knockout play. That was the play. When we talk about the play to be made, that's going to change everything. That's going to change the outcome of the game. If the 49ers complete that pass, the game's over. 49ers win.
But is that a Purdy decision, or is that a Kyle Shanahan decision when he called that play? Because he can call the play, but Purdy can see on the field when he's on the field. Because this is how you're seeing it. If your number one option is Juwan, but you see that BA has beat these people over and over. Because in my mind, I'm thinking of, okay, if that's a Peyton Manning may see, okay, yeah, that's the play, but I'm gonna see what the defense give me, and then I'm gonna do this. Does he have the control to do that?
Because it sounds like Kyle is giving him that. I think some of it is. Here's what I think is going on. Again, earlier I said a lot of offensive stuff, and maybe I get an offensive guy on here, but a lot of what they do is off of concepts, right? So what Brock is, and people hate when you talk about system quarterbacks and all that, and obviously he's able to make a play, but the way he thinks is most of the time it's like system. He expects, okay, the play dictates that, okay, the coverage, and I'm supposed to go here, and Kyle knows that, right? Like, oh, Brock knows all the answers, right? So, okay, the defense is giving you this, then you go here. But what other quarterbacks, and this is something that Brock can potentially grow into, fuck where the defense is dictating.
Exactly.
I'm going to my guy.
Right.
And I think that's where, if instead of, okay, well, the defense dictates here, so let me throw into this window and hit Juwan Jennings, I got to trust that Brandon Aiyuk. Because when you go back to the NFC Championship game, 2013, Colin Kaepernick, he throws the fade to Michael. The ball gets tipped, intercepted, and it hurt. It hurt. But the one thing I always respect is Cap saying, Crab is my guy. I'd go to him again if I had to do it. Right? Like, you can live with that. Where, whereas throwing the Juwan Jennings over Brandon Aiyuk, and Brandon Aiyuk is my big guy, that's where it starts to get, just a little tricky. And that's not to say Juwan Jennings isn't a valuable asset, like a good target and all that. He's turning Juwan. But I just feel like in some of these moments when you need something, who's that guy you go to? And I would think that it'd be Aiyuk, but it just hasn't been.
I guess in my mind, I'm thinking if you're going to pay a quarterback $60 million, I need you to be on that level. I don't need you to be on, I'm just doing what the coach is telling me to do, and then hopefully we can win, because it's fine to do all that during the regular season, but the results is when the playoffs and the championship. So it's fine. In my mind, I feel like it's fine going to it, but if you don't win, it's really a failure. Because
it has definitely gotten to that.
Because if you think about Kobe's mindset, as for example, is I may have went to the finals, but I ain't win nothing. This is a failure season. What all the accolades that I got during the regular season don't mean nothing if I didn't come home with the championship. It does not mean nothing to me. And if the team does not have that mindset, and they already think, well, we the best, we doing all this and ain't won nothing. Maybe they need to change their mindset, and maybe we'll be able to get over the hump. Because they walk around as if we won multiple Super Bowls. The Chiefs walk around like they ain't done nothing. So maybe we need to change our mindset, and it starts from the top. Maybe we need to change our mindset on how we view our talent and everything. Yes, we are a very talented team, but I think they're starting to hear that we are a very talented team and we can beat everybody, and then we come up short when the time matters. So I think their mindset needs to change and focus. Forget all the interviews, forget all the press, forget everything. Stop doing TV shows, stop doing everything else that you're doing outside of football. Focus on football. And then I think we'll be okay. So.
All right, good stuff, TNT. I appreciate you coming on.
All right, thank you.
All right. Shout out to Tia Ingram. Let's go. We're going to get to some of these comments in the chat right here. It starts with Killer Young, and he says, Brock had no time. Burford left Jones unblocked. So I think we're talking about two different plays. I think you're talking about the play in overtime. I'm talking about when the 49ers kicked the field goal to take the lead, as somebody else alluded to. Somebody said Brock left the field with the lead. That's not good enough with who's on the other side. That is good 90% of the time. You know what I'm saying? But leaving the field with the lead, and not just, it's like a 3-point lead with Mahomes. That's what Brock did a good job. Don't get it disputed. Brock did a good job. I did not think Brock played terrible or bad or anything like that. Did Brock play well enough to knock out the guy on the other side? No, he did not. He played well. And for a lot of other, like, you're fine. A lot of other quarterbacks out there, you win that game. Man, we got the lead twice, man. I left the field twice with the lead. Yeah. You got to knock out Patrick Mahomes. And he didn't. And I'm not just saying it's him. 49ers didn't do that. Now, as far as Khalil Young, the play said Burford, I'm talking about there was a 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 5 in the fourth quarter. The play where the 49ers, when they ended up on 4th down, kicking the field goal to take the 3-point lead, and then Mahomes had time to drive down. I'm talking about a play that makes it to where the Chiefs don't get the ball back. Like, that's the winning play. And they threw it to Juwan Jennings. I know you're thinking overtime, they threw the flat to Juwan Jennings and missed him. And Jones came unblocked. And Aiyuk was open in the back of the end zone. I'm not talking about that play. I'm talking about a play most people don't talk about. I'm talking about in regulation, at the end of the end of the fourth quarter, it was 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 5. And they ran double slants. Juwan Jennings in the slot, Brandon Aiyuk in the slot. And this is all going off of memory. I have not rewatched the game. I refuse to rewatch the game, but I remember this in the moment. They ran double slants. He threw it to Juwan Jennings, and the ball got batted down, and they had to kick the field goal. Aiyuk was open in the second window. Well, yeah, on his slant. So that's what I'm talking about. So winning the Super Bowl, I think a lot of times it's going to be on your quarterback to seal the deal and make the play to where you're going to have to knock out Mahomes. And if it's not Mahomes, maybe it's not as difficult, right? If it's Joe Burrow or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or one of those guys, maybe it's not quite as difficult. But there's no other quarterback in the NFL right now that I want to give the ball to with time on the hand. Like, I don't want to. Anybody else, you're probably good. Patrick Mahomes, don't give him time. Hell, we saw Josh Allen throw 5 touchdowns in the game. Like 4 touchdowns between the fourth quarter. Josh Allen threw like 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, including one that gave, and it might have been 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, but he was balling. Josh Allen was balling. He did everything possible. He left, like Buddy said, he left the game with the lead, right? With 13 seconds on the clock. And that was too much time. That was too much time. Tough stuff. All right. Appreciate everybody that tuned in today. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We're going to figure this out. Together. I'll see y'all Friday morning. Make sure you guys
subscribe to this video.
All right, yeah. Peace.